This is how I ice a cake. In no way am I trying to say that this is like a professional way to ice a cake or whatever, but this is what works for me, and it's been a lot of trial and error, but this is what works for me. And these are what I have on hand to do it. I use a turntable, always, with a no skid mat to put it on, just because that just makes it heaven. I take my cake boards, I glue 2 together just to make it sturdy. And then usually when I have a 2-tier cake and I have a smaller tier, I glue I don't glue it, I tape it, because I've tried to glue and it'll stick so bad you can't get the thing off. So anyway, I tape the board to a bigger board just to handle and make it easier. You know, I'm all about making something easy. And this is probably what I would consider like the secret to being able to ice a cake really, really pretty. I buy these at the cake shop for $1, but I used to buy the plastic, I don't even know what they were, like a paint scraper or whatever, at Walmart. But these are, and I would break the handles off of them because the handle gets in the way. So anyway, I found these and they're $1, so I just buy a whole bunch of those. And on mine, this edge right here, I don't know where I'm looking at on the camera. Anyway, this edge right here kind of gets gross, and so I throw them away because I want it always to have a nice clean edge on it. And then some people use an offset spatula. I don't. I use this one. That's just because that's probably what I learned with, and that just works for me. And so this is what I do to get started. I just put it all up in the center. Place my first tier on there. Golly, anyway, it's so close you can't really see anything, but anyway. There's that. And then I just ice the center real good. Oops. Let me scoop a big bunch on here. Like that. There. Now. I don't cut any of the tiers off, and I don't press it into the bottom one. Make sure it's in the center. And then again, I put a big dollop of icing on it. Yeah, it's a ton of icing. But, you know, that's what makes a good cake. And on my buttercream, I only use real butter. I don't use any Crisco because, you know, me and Paula Dean think that butter is awesome. And then I'm just going to come around the sides, mashing it in the edges. And again, I'm sure there are people that do this a different way. There's probably people that do it a gazillion different ways. I'm not pretending that this is, you know, the proper way, the only way, whatever. This is Gina's way, and this is what works for Gina, so whatever. I don't like to try to keep the blade cleaned off because it's just easier to work with a clean blade. I'm going to come back and get all this down here at the bottom. I keep knocking the camera over. I'll be glad when I get the other camera so that I can do this differently. Hopefully, I won't be so crazy with it. Well, I'm always crazy, but you know, maybe a little less crazy than sitting here with this camera at my mouth. Lord knows, I run my mouth enough not to need a camera sitting in front of it. Okay, now here's where the scraper, I think I hear some people call it a bench scraper or whatever. I just take and go around it. Can you even see what I'm doing? Lord have mercy. Like this. And you'll scrape the edges down. It'll make it all. Scrape that back in the bowl. And you see it's starting to make it clean around the edges. I'll just go and straighten it up. I know it's kind of like icing it and scraping it all back off, but trust me, you'll be glad that you straightened this up at this point. Well, at every point you'll be glad. And then I bring these edges in like that. I wipe my blade off when I bring it in. And I just keep working around it like that until it's all pretty level. You see, just that was really quick, and it's starting to I don't know what you say, kind of sharpen up or whatever you want to call it, you know. But we'll just do that one, and then I stick it in the fridge and let it get hard, and then I ice it again. I stick it back in the fridge and let it harden up again, and then I pull it out and do it 3 times. So I ice it 3 separate times, and that leaves me with a really nice clean cake, and I'll show you kind of toward the end. Now we're going to do the top tier, and I'll show you. I start the same way. I just put a dollop in the center, and it's kind of hard to do this reaching around this camera. So anyway, and I'll show you why. I press it down into the icing like that. I put a big dollop of icing on it. It's not wanting to dollop, is it? Okay. I just ice that. Mash it down in there. Like that. I'm going to add the second tier. Like that. Again, come back with a dollop of icing. Can't see that, but I put a big dollop up there. When I'm not filming this I can do this pretty quick. I can run around it pretty quick. It's not bad. It's time consuming because I do it 3 times, but I like to build up my icing and have sharp edges. I don't like rounded over edges. So it's not so bad. But this little board down here, this one down here, you are running your knife. Let me scrape my icing down so it won't be so hard to get out. You run your knife along that board, so that tells you how, like, where your cake is, and it gives you a stop so that you know you have this pretty edge. Okay, so that's pretty rough looking, but you see it went really quick. Now I'm just going to take this bench scraper thing, and it's going to touch up against that board on the bottom, and you just wheel this around, and that will take the perfect amount of icing off to give you a really clean, smooth edge. And I do that, get it looking really nice. Clean my blade, and then again, I don't know if you can see, I pull these edges in. I can't do this. I'm having to hold the camera so that you can see it. I pull those edges in, cleaning my knife off every time I do it. And see, there's like a little dent right there. It's no big deal. I'm going to leave it like that. Let it stand in the ice box, harden up, and then I will ice it and let it harden up again twice in the ice box.